Understanding Equinoxes the Vedic Way is the fourth in the series of videos based on my book critiquing the Mahabharata date done by Mr Nilkanth Oak. In this presentation, I am going to talk about the Vedic concept of equinoxes given by the Vedic sages through thousands of years of observation and how it is different from the Western concept of equinoxes and why the dating works of Mr. Nilesh Oak collapse due to non-adherence to the Vedic concept of equinoxes. Let me start with a brief note on the Western concept of the precessional movement of the Earth. The globe is shown here with the white arrows around its belly that show the direction of the rotation. The central red color rod is the axis which rotates slowly, completing a rotation in approximately 25,772 years. This precessional circle was already shown by me and discussed by me in the previous videos. You can see the Polaris, the current pole star, on one side of the circle. In Western astronomy, the axial precession and the precession of the equinoxes are compared with the movement of the gyroscope as shown in the figure here. You can see the spin axis of the gyroscope drawing a circle on top. It is in the same way the Earth's axis is also drawing a circle in the sky in which each point represents a pole star according to Western astronomy. Now look at the body of the gyroscope. The frame is touching the gimbal at two places, and these two places represent the vernal and autumnal equinox. And you can see that these two contact points are also making a complete rotation. So Western astronomers think in the same way the two equinoxes are going around the 12 signs of the zodiac, within which time the axial precession also completes 26,000 years. Having known the Western concept of the precession of equinoxes, let us now look at the Vedic view of the precession of equinoxes. The Surya Siddhanta, in its third chapter, gives 4 verses in which the precession is described. The circle of asterisms vibrate 600 times in a great yuga. A great yuga is a Chaturmaha yuga which lasts for 43 lakhs and 20,000 years. Within this period, 600 revolutions are made, which means for a revolution to take place, it will take 7,200 years. Compare this with the Western astronomy concept in which one revolution takes place in 26,000 years. This is not the only difference with the Western astronomy. There is another major deviation from the Western astronomy in which it is said that the precession takes place 27 degrees from a central point towards the west, and after reaching the 27-degree point there is no longer a precession as told in the Western astronomy. In Western astronomy, the precession is a continuous movement, that is after reaching the 27th degree of Pisces also, the equinoxes will move towards Aquarius, then Capricorn, and so on. Whereas in the Vedic view, after reaching the 27-degree point, it will turn forward and it will reach the central portion again, and it will go further forward for another 27 degrees towards the east. That means the forward motion is taking place for 54 degrees in all. After reaching the 54-degree mark, the precession once again takes place. That is, the equinox starts moving backwards for 27 plus 27, that is 54 degrees at a stretch. And for each 27-degree part, it takes 1,800 years, and in all it takes 7,200 years. Why this 4 division is mentioned? It is because the central pivotal point is identified as Aries 0 degrees, and having this as the central point, the equinox is moving westward 27 degrees, then eastward, then further after crossing the Aries 0 degrees, go towards the east for 27 degrees and then come back. So the movement is not exactly a rotational movement, though I am showing it as a kind of rotation. It is just forward and backward, like a to and fro movement, in which the Aries 0 degree always represents the pivotal point of the vernal equinox. From the information gathered from Surya Siddhanta, it is possible to calculate the precession rate, which comes out to 108 degrees. A surprise element is that this is a mystic number or a spiritual number in the Vedic society. And this is not alone, for we have the zodiacal number of padas also equal to 108 degrees. One can say that the zodiac was divided into 108 padas by some human being in a planned way. But what about this to and fro equinoctial movement happening for 108 degrees? It exists in nature, and for each degree, to cover each degree of this movement, it takes 66.66 years, which is equal to 54 arc seconds per year. This is almost close to the Western astronomy concept of the movement as known today. That is, for covering 1 degree of the precession, it takes 72 years, which is equal to 50 arc seconds per year. Let me now describe the Vedic concept of the equinoctial movement in terms of modern science. This is the globe with the axis and the celestial equator intersecting the ecliptic at a point here, which determines the vernal equinox, and it is Pisces 3rd degree here. This is the maximum limit that the equinox can go towards the west of the Aries 0 degree according to Vedic view. I said 27 degrees to the west, which is equal to Pisces 3rd degree. Beyond this, the equinox will not proceed further. Whereas Western science says the equinox will further move on to Aquarius, then Capricorn. Whereas in the Vedic view, it says after reaching the Pisces 3rd degree limit, the axis moves to the opposite direction, by which the celestial equator also shifts forward, intersecting the ecliptic at the point which coincides with Aries 0 degrees. And further on, the axis moves further forward, by which the celestial equator intersects the ecliptic at the point which occurs at Aries 27th degree. So, between 3rd degree Pisces and 27th degree Aries, there is a distance of only 54 degrees. What I have shown here is a forward movement of the equinox. That is, on one side it goes for 54 degrees only, and then after reaching the Aries 27th degree, it goes backward. That is the concept of the Vedic society. Now, when the equinox is at Aries 27th degree, which star was the northern celestial pole star? And it is here. Let us discuss about it in the next video. I am just showing the limits of the northern pole stars. This is at one end. At the other end, when Pisces 3rd degree will be there at the equinoctial position, then the star will be here. And currently we are close to this point of vernal equinox. So this star is nothing but the Polaris that we can see now, which is close to the NCP at the current times. Between these two stars, the extent is only 54 degrees, and the midpoint of this duration is a star that was the pole star when the vernal equinox will be at Aries 0 degrees. And this also has a duration of 54 degrees on one side and another 54 degrees on another side, for covering one side of this movement, that is a precession for 54 degrees in 3600 years, and a forward motion for another 54 degrees in another 3600 years, which totally comes to 7200 years. Now the point is, where is Abhijit in this configuration? Abhijit is exactly on the opposite side, that is 180 degrees away from Polaris in the Western astronomy concept. And Mr. Nilesh Oak has taken Abhijit as the Dhruva nakshatra at the time of his date of Ramayana. But this configuration of the Vedic system of the equinoctial movement shows that Abhijit could never be a pole star. We have Polaris here and 54 degrees away from that the other stars are. Whereas Abhijit is almost 180 degrees away from that in the precession circle. So this shows that if you are going by the Vedic view of the position of the northern pole stars, Mr. Nilesh Oak's work of Ramayana is totally obsolete. You can never find a single verse in the Vedic text, in any text of the Vedic society, claiming that Abhijit is a pole star anytime in the past. And the single verse that Mr. Nilesh Oak is quoting from Ramayana also says that Abhijit, along with the Saptarishis, was circulated the pole star, and it doesn't say that Abhijit was the pole star. The Vedic view of the equinoctial movement clearly establishes that Abhijit can never be a pole star, and by this we can see the very fundamentals of Mr. Nilesh Oak's Ramayana dating is absolutely gone. Now let us see the extent of the equinoctial movement in the zodiac. This is Aries 0 degrees coinciding with Ashwini first pada. This is Pisces 3rd degree coinciding with Purva Bhadrapada 4th pada. That means the vernal equinox cannot proceed beyond Purva Bhadrapada 4th pada. On the other extreme, Aries 27 degrees coincides with Kritika 1st pada. Here we can recall the many verses referring to Kritika as the easternmost star, or the top star, or the head star, or beyond which the cosmos doesn't go. So many descriptions are there. All this because Kritika 1st pada forms the easternmost limit of the equinoctial movement, and between these two, 27 degrees only have to be covered each side. And now let us look at the solstitial position when the vernal equinox is at Ashwini 1st pada. The Dakshinayana occurs at the beginning of Cancer, and Uttarayana at the beginning of Capricorn. This is the ideal or middle or median condition. And when the equinoctial position occurs at Pisces 3rd degree, this is the maximum extent that the solstices go towards the south. Here you can see the Dakshinayana happening at 3rd degree of Gemini, that coincides with Arudra, and here at the 3rd degree of Sagittarius coinciding with Moola Nakshatra. And the other extreme, there is a forward extreme, when the equinox is at Kritika 1st pada, the Dakshinayana happens at the 27th degree of Cancer, which coincides with Aslesha, and at 27th degree of Capricorn, Uttarayana is occurring at Dhanishta. In this combination also must bring us the memory of Lagada's Vedanga Jyotisha, because Lagada's Vedanga Jyotisha starts from this position of equinoxes and solstices. So it shows now after having known about this solstitial position, we can say that Lagada lived at a time when the solstices reached this maximal extent, and so he thought it fit to write about the Jyotisha. That is how we have got the Vedanga Jyotisha today. And now the solstices are going backwards towards the other extreme. But the ideal position or the median position is always like this. The point is, on the other side is what you call Tula or Libra. Tula means balance. In this position, the globe, that is the earth, seems to be in a balanced position. Though it is tilted, in the tilted position, it is balanced. That is why it has been named as Tula. And this balance is what you mean by the Arya nature. In Bhagavad Gita, we come across the incident of Arjuna laying down his arms and Krishna asking him, why are you doing this? What you are doing is Anaryam. Anarya Jishtam Aswaryam. So what is Anaryam? It is non-Aryanism. We think Aryan means noble. What does noble mean? From that context, it is meant that noble means being in unwavering existence. Arjuna was in a state of wavering mind. It should not be. That is what Krishna has meant by that. And here also we are looking at the zodiac, which is tilted. That is, the earth is tilted. Though it is tilted, it is in a state of equilibrium. Though its vernal equinox is wavering between Purva Bhadrapada 4th Pada and Kritika 1st Pada, it has to attain its equilibrium. And that is why the concept is that the concept of unwavering nature or a balanced nature or being the kind of a balance itself is incorporated in our concept, we can say, in the zodiac, we can say. So this is the balance, the Aryanism, where the maximum extent the axis can go up to 27 degrees here, and then while it is in the state of balance it will be here, and at the other extreme it goes up to that. So this kind of Aryan nature of being in an unwavering state of existence, being in a state of balance, is mentioned in many Tamil texts in Tirukkural, etc. And this concept is also given to us, handed over to us in our day-to-day life, in our daily life, in certain features. That is the same concept of the zodiac. The tilted zodiac, though it is wavering, we always stick to the median position. Today people are saying the vernal equinox had gone far. It is 24 degrees away from the Aries 0 degrees. Why not you change, or why not you adopt that as the vernal equinox? And people are getting confused whether following the true Vedic concept or not. But viewers, please be informed that by following the Aries 0 degree concept, we are following the true Vedic concept only. Going by this Thula or balance or the Aryan nature of the zodiac or the globe's tilted nature, we can say we should always stick on to the median position where the Vishnu's pada is always resting. So in this position only we are getting this Aryanism or the state of balance, I can say. And now we are going to see the kind of instances that have been handed over to us in our day-to-day life. I am going to show you here the Arya dance. People say this is rope walking. No, this has a name, and in Tamil culture it is known as the Arya dance. There is a Tamil dance and Arya dance, and we don't know what is Tamil dance, but we do know the Arya dance because of the adage in existence in Tamil. It says Arya Kuttadinalum Karyathil Kan. This is the Arya Kuttu or Aryan dance, where one has to balance on a thin rope and should be totally focused on the job. One has to be focused on the job while doing the Aryan dance is the meaning of that adage. So this is almost like your globe, which is just balancing precariously in the cosmos, and then even though there may be pulls and pushes on the both sides, it is just maintaining its balance or the median position. Now let me tell the other one also that is found in our day-to-day life. This is a doll known as the Tanjavur tilting doll, famous for Tanjavur or Tanjore in Tamil Nadu. This doll has been in production in Tanjavur such that the government of India has recognized it as the geographical indication. The peculiarity of this doll is that if you are rotating it, it will not rotate. It will just tilt or go in a to and fro motion, much like the equinoctial motion. And one peculiar feature of this doll is that this is a must be there in the Golu festival or the Navaratri festival celebrated by the Tamil people. During the doll festival, which is actually a religious festival, the Tamil people are keeping this doll along with other deities. Why should they give so much importance to this doll will be known once we know about the equinoctial movement. It is making me wonder whether the ancient people have handed down this idea of the doll to remind us or to be there for all times, so that sometime, someday, we may come to know of this movement, which is a cosmically present movement for the earth. From Tanjavur doll, now I am going to come to a story that is found in almost all the Puranas, a story that is considered to be mythical in nature, but the one which I consider to be having scientific revelations after coming to know of the to and fro oscillation of the equinoxes. To begin with, I am here showing a circle or a globe which is tilted, and the oscillation limit is from 22.1 to 24.5 degrees only. Yes, our globe is tilted this way and the oscillation limit is only within 3 degrees. At the topmost point, that is the northernmost point of the globe, is known as Meru. Now, the readers will be coming to know what I am going to talk. It is about the Samudra Manthan. The northern point, the north pole is known as Meru in Surya Siddhanta. This Meru is not drawing a circle but making a to and fro motion according to the Vedic thought. In contrast, in the Western astronomy, the axis or the Meru will be drawing a circle in the sky. But here, according to the Samudra Manthan story, it will just go forward and backward only. And it is being supported by the giant turtle at the bottom in the southern pole. Normally, South Pole is known for gigantism, and the presence of the giant turtle as the axis in the story goes to show that there is something to do with gigantism and also something to do with the control mechanism, because a turtle is known for controlling its senses. So in this way, when the churning is happening, the Vasuki has a place there. That is the to and fro churning with the Meru as the pivot, turtle as the base, and Vasuki or the serpent is the rope. And with that rope, the churning is happening to and fro, and not a complete rotation. And here there is another element also in the story, the sun and the moon. When the churning is being done, the Amrit comes out, and Rahu and Ketu wanted to drink. They drank the Amrit, and this was complained by sun and the moon, and because of that, the sun and the moon became the enemies of Rahu and Ketu. Goes the story. In scientific terms, the precession of the equinoxes is being controlled or being facilitated by the gravitational pull of the sun and the moon according to modern science. But beyond that, the modern science has not gone further. Whereas in the Samudra Manthan story, the complicity of sun and the moon is there. In addition to that, the Vasuki's role is there. Who is this Vasuki? Vasuki can be compared with the magma, molten magma inside the earth, that is under the crust, going by a verse in Paripadal in the Tamil text, which says that the Nagas are nothing but the molten material that is just splashing out of the volcano. Similarly, we have another evidence also in the Tirumala hills. The Tirumala Tirupati hills are supposed to be encircled with the Adisesha. There is a story like that. The geological history of the Tirumala hills is such that the molten material had come out and then solidified. So the Adisesha or Naga or Vasuki, wherever you come across a mention of the serpent, we should remember that it is a reference to the molten magma or molten lava. Inside the earth, there is a very good quantity of the molten material sloshing inside. See, since the earth is continuously rotating, they must be having some impact on the rotational dynamics, like how the water inside the lorry will be having a sloshing effect on the stability of the water tanker lorry. It is for that reason we have compartments inside the lorry, so that the sloshing effect will be less, and the tanker lorry will be in its equilibrium. The same concept is found in the rocket also. I was told that nearly 90% of the mass of the rocket has liquid fluid. So when the rocket is flying, definitely the fluid will be just sloshing to and fro. So to control that, if that is not controlled, definitely the rocket will not be in a stable or equilibrium condition. So a new branch of science is working on that, I was told. So the same concept seems to be applicable here, or else we would not have got the idea of Vasuki as the rope churning the Meru. So it appears that some internal mechanism of the earth, perhaps the sloshing of the magma, is influencing the rotational dynamics of the earth that science is yet to unravel. Because of the magma, movement of the magma, the equilibrium is attained only when there is a to and fro motion, not when a complete rotational movement. That is what is being made out in this. But anyway, once we enter the 24th century, the world is going to see the forward motion of the equinoxes. But before that, if some scientific person just gets hold of this idea from the Vedic thought and is able to unravel this mystery, then that is going to be a Nobel winning discovery. But for the time being, what I want the viewers to understand is that the equinoxes cannot go on permanently in a precession mode. It goes in a to and fro oscillation mode only. The Samudra Manthan is the best story to understand why the to and fro motion is happening. The concept inside that to and fro oscillation is contained within the Samudra Manthan story itself, and the luckiest person will catch hold of it and then will become a celebrity in future. Let me give textual evidence in support of the limited movement of equinoxes and solstices. The first evidence I am giving is from Vayu Purana, which says when the sun rises from Mula, Purvashada and Uttarashada, it is called Ajaviti. So this rising is about the Uttarayana, and the location is Sagittarius or Dhanur Rashi. When the sun rises in the three stars from Abhijit, Shravana and Dhanishta, it is called Nagavedi. In the zodiac, when the sun rises in the three stars of the Capricorn, it is known as Nagavedi, and in Dhanur Rashi, it is known as Ajavedi. So only within these two signs, the rising of the sun is being given, which refers to the Uttarayana only. Nowhere else this Viti concept is given in the Vayu Purana. And the name also looks strange. The Nagaviti, why it is known as Nagaviti? Naga means the serpent, and just opposite of the Capricorn is Cancer, where Aslesha Nakshatra is there, whose lord is Sarpa. Maybe because of that they have named it as Nagaviti. Whereas for Ajaviti, there is no way to substantiate the meaning of Aja, whereas the Aja means unborn. Maybe in that sense they had named it. Let us see further in support of this idea. The next concept I am going to introduce is Uttarayana Shankaranti. Uttarayana is the northern sojourn, the starting of the northern sojourn of the sun. Shankaranti always refers to the Sankramana, the entry of the sun into a sign. Mostly the Makar Shankaranti is known as Shankaranti only. And what is this Uttarayana Shankaranti? In Brihat Samhita comes a verse that says that if the sun changes its course before reaching Makara, it would bring evil to the west or the south. That is, this is a reference to the starting of the Uttarayana before the sun reaches Makara. That means Uttarayana is happening at Dhanur Rashi. And the other verse says, suppose the sun starts the southern movement, that is Dakshinayana movement, before it reaches Kataka, then it will bring evil to the north and the east. See, in the zodiac, you can show like this. The sun is starting the Uttarayana movement in Dhanur Rashi before it reaches Makar Rashi, means that is not good. And similarly, the Dakshinayana movement is starting before it reaches Cancer, means it is not good. So it is perhaps for this reason. The sun, the Uttarayana happening in Dhanur is known as Aja, unborn. The Uttarayana is not yet born. The Uttarayana will be born only after it reaches the Capricorn, because Capricorn forms the median level. Just like how the vernal equinox falls at the 0 degree Aries. So the Uttarayana also should fall at 0 degree Capricorn. So any starting of the Uttarayana before that is known as unborn. And in support of this, I can show some inscriptions also found in South India. And one such inscription I am showing here from Bellary, written some 1000 years ago. In the year Krodhi, in Pushya Paurnami, in Aditya Vara, it was known as Uttarayana Shankaranti. And the Shakavarsha is given there. Based on that, I can simulate the planetary combinations or the Panchanga combinations for that particular day to know whether there was Uttarayana at that time or Makar Shankranti at that time. And why this Uttarayana Shankranti? So this is the chart I am showing here. See, at the bottom I am showing here the Ayanamsha, that is a precession movement. It is at 10 degree 49 minutes south of or west of the Capricorn 0 degrees. That is, this position is happening at Dhanur Rashi, and other features like Krodhi, Pushya, everything is falling in correct place only. The year is 1065 January 1st. But look at the sun's position. It is at Capricorn 0 degrees. That is, even though the Ayanamsha is falling at, that is, Uttarayana has started in Dhanur Rashi, only when the sun had entered Makar Rashi, people have celebrated it as Uttarayana Shankaranti. See, the red marker is the actual starting of Uttarayana at that time. But they celebrated Shankaranti or Uttarayana only when the sun entered the Capricorn. Please remember, those were the times of the kings and many astrologers well versed in astrology and also Vedic Pandits. They did not take into consideration the Uttarayana beginning happening in Dhanur Rashi. So this should be an eye opener for people in the Vedic society, that we should not be disillusioned or influenced by people like Mr. Nilesh Oak and other intellectuals asking us to change our calendar. Our Uttarayana starts with Makar Shankranti only, and that is why it is named that as Uttarayana Shankaranti or Uttarayana Makar Shankranti, or a combination of Uttarayana and Makar Shankranti, and Shankaranti and Uttarayana simultaneously celebrated at the point of 0 degrees Capricorn. Giving further evidence, let me give the concept of the three Vithis as given in the old Sangam age text Paripadal. Here, the zodiac of 12 signs is divided into three parts of Meshavithi, Rishabhavithi and Mithunavathi, where the Meshavithi is also known as the northern street, northern Vithi, in which the sun's movement in the northern latitudes is described. And the Mithunavathi or the southern street is about the sun's movement is in the southern hemisphere, that is from Scorpio to Aquarius. The middle Vithi, you can see, consists of Pisces and Aries on the one side and Libra and Virgo on the other side, which is shaded in this picture. Why it is known as the Madhya Vithi? Unless it is about the equinoctial movement. And the next evidence I am giving is from astrology, which is known as the Chatra Rashi. The kind of Rashi known as Chatra Rashi, which is far useful in Prashna and Nimitta astrology. It also takes into consideration the same Vithi concept as shown here. But the third evidence I am giving is an adage in Tamil which says Meena Mesham Paka Vendam, which means don't see Meenam or Mesham. Suppose one is going on some work and then wants to see whether it is auspicious or not. People will say, why do you see all that? Don't look at the Meena Mesha. Why should they say that? No one knows the meaning of it. But once you know the meaning of the equinoctial movement in Meena and Mesha, then you will know that it refers to that only. The vernal equinox could fall at Pisces or in Aries, any of the degrees. Doesn't matter. Considered to be in Aries only. Then the next evidence I am giving is from Valmiki Ramayana, where after the Setu was built, Valmiki describes this as the Swatipata, which is dividing the sky into two halves. Swati is here. The Swatipata must be the equinoctial position, which is the divide sky into two halves. About this Swatipata, I will talk later when I am talking about Abhijit. But for now, it is better to know that the Swatipata refers to a Swati street or Swati Vithi, which Ramayana also has mentioned in a kind of allusion to the equinoctial position in Libra, and then the northern one going up to Aries. I am sure by now the viewers will be convinced about the impracticality and irrelevance of using Western astronomy concepts or Western astronomy software to date Ramayana or Mahabharata. Their concept, that is a Western concept of the equinoxes and the solstices, is just going around the zodiac 360 degrees around the zodiac, whereas that is not the same with the Vedic concept, which is time tested. Here I am giving an evidence from Mr. Nilesh Oak book showing the problems in using the Western astronomy software. Bhishma left the world on the day of Uttarayana, told by himself, and he says that he is going to leave on the Magha Shuklashtami. But Mr. Nilesh Oak has placed Uttarayana in Falguni month. It is because his software is showing that. According to him, that is scientific, that is reliable. So the winter solstice shown by his software at 5561 BCE is taken as the true position, and from there he has extrapolated and arrived at not 58 days but 98 days for Bhishma's stay on the aerobit. This is totally contradictory to Vyasa has said and Bhishma himself has said. It was Bhishma's version that he stayed in the aerobit for 58 days. But Mr. Nilesh Oak has successfully falsified Bhishma's own version, saying that he has stayed for 98 days, and the unearthed is because he has used the modern, the latest astronomy software, which is totally not in sync with the Vedic concept of the equinox, and also not in sync with the true concept of equinox. So what are we seeing here? We are seeing Uttarayana of his time happening in Falguni month, whereas it should have happened somewhere in Capricorn or Sagittarius. But he placed Uttarayana of the Mahabharata times at Falguni, that is in Pisces. Similarly, he placed Uttarayana of Ramayana times in Cancer. Uttarayana can never happen in Cancer, but he has the he was able to show it because that is what his astronomy software shows. So this is the problem with using the astronomy software, which is totally not in sync with the concepts of the Vedic society, and because of this all his dates, the entire research is just in shambles, I can say. And he has even shown Rohini in the context of talking about the fall of Abhijit. He is showing Rohini having this Uttarayana starting at Rohini in the year 9500 BCE. Uttarayana at Rohini. You can just imagine the tilt of the globe for Uttarayana to happen there, or tilt of the cosmic background to make this happen. And the autumnal equinox at 16,000 BCE, and Dakshinayana at 22.5K BCE. So this is the unearth or absurdity of using the Western astronomy software, which Nilesh Oak has completely relied upon. And as such, one can just say, without even going into the details of it, one can just say that it is just not worth looking at. Let me do a case study for Kali Yuga date to show how the Western astronomy software cannot give the exact date. Here I am showing the forward motion and backward motion of the equinox, and where we are at present, that is the vernal equinox at present at 6th degree Pisces. The median position is at 0 degree Aries. We have to locate Kali Yuga that happened 5120 years ago at the beginning of Aries. Now, the one using the Western astronomy software will look backward like this. This would have covered only up to Aries 27 degrees, that is equivalent to almost 3300 years. So beyond that, he will go backward into Taurus, and he will locate Kali Yuga in Taurus or Rishabha Rasi, saying that that is the scientifically proven date of Kali Yuga. Is it so? Is it correct? No. Now we are looking at the Vedic concept, where after reaching the Aries 27th degree, it would have gone in the forward motions, that is 51 degrees this side and 27 degrees that side. So overall, the time has traveled for 78 degrees since the beginning of Kali Yuga at Aries 0 degrees. Now the second issue with the Vedic, that is the Western astronomy software, I am going to highlight here. At what average rate of precision, or what was the rate of precision all these years? The Western astronomy cannot give that. Whereas in the Vedic concept, I can give the average rate of precision as 65.64 years per degree. Whereas the Western astronomy concept will use the current rate of precision, that is 72 years per degree, which is a standardized one and included in the settings, and it will be giving a much forward position. So imagine, instead of 65.64 years, you substitute it with the 72 years per degree. Even if you are using the Vedic equinoctial position, what will happen? Will it show the beginning of Kali Yuga at Aries? No, it will go further. It will show in Pisces. So that is the havoc caused by the Western astronomy software, and it is totally unreliable as far as dating of the Indian past is concerned. Maybe for the past 1000 years or 2000 years, you can date correctly. Beyond that, it is not giving the correct results. Now, here I am showing the simulated version based on the Surya Siddhanta principle of the Ayanamsha given by Makarandacharya in the 15th century. And this simulation shows me or puts me exactly at the Ayanamsha position of 0 degree Aries. When that was done, all the other Panchanga features and also the planetary features are exactly falling in place. Pramati, Chaitra, Amavasya, Thursday, and the date was 3101 BCE on January 22nd. Currently, it is being held that the year was 3102, but this simulation based on the Surya Siddhanta Ayanamsa is giving the date as this, in which all the planetary combinations and the Panchanga features are fitting well. You can see all the planets falling just close to 0 degree Aries, which is nothing but the Yuga Lakshana. The Yuga will start at the time when all the planets are congregating at the beginning of Aries. The planets can congregate at some sign, but not all planets will congregate at a sign and at Aries. That can happen only one time in a Yuga. For example, in the month of December 2019, 6 planets are going to congregate in Dhanur Rashi. Only 6 planets, not 8 planets. Of the 9 planets, one of the nodes should have to be outside the congregation. Only 8 planets can be there. Right? So, in the beginning of Kali Yuga, all the planets were congregating at Aries, and sensing this or seeing this, Vyasa had declared the beginning of Kali Yuga. You can see the verse in Srimad Bhagavata, but Mr. Nilesh Oak is not willing to accept that, and he only says it is an assumed date. And he even questions the wisdom of Garga and Aryabhatta in giving the Kali Yuga date. Well, in fact, Aryabhatta is not openly talking about any Kali Yuga date, but Mr. Nilesh Oak says Aryabhatta is giving wrong information on Kali Yuga. Mr. Nilesh Oak knows better because he is following the Western astrology, Western astronomy software. And what does he say in his book published in the year 2011? He has written that he doesn't bother about this Kali Yuga date because his date of Mahabharata has nothing to do with this date, because it doesn't contradict and it doesn't support the year. So this clearly shows that he was not at all aware of the complication or the implication that his date of Mahabharata is going to have on Kali Yuga date. He was not at all aware of the connection between the Mahabharata date and the Kali Yuga date. And he also went to the extent of saying that he was able to locate Krishna Nirvana using the simulations of Voyager software at 5525 BCE or 5524 BCE. So by now we know all these are wrong. So the readers and viewers can rest assured that Mr. Nilesh Oak is not talking about Vyasa Bharata. His is Vartak Bharata. He has totally corroborated the dates of Dr. Vartak and added some spice to it by using his recent, the most modern software, Western astronomy software. So that is nothing to do with Vyasa Bharata. So we can rest assured that our Vyasa Bharata is not at all touched by him. Coming to the end of the presentation, the Vedic view of the equinoctial movement was that it was forward for some time and backward for some time, with the pivotal position at Aries 0 degrees, and the last time the earth crossed that position in the forward motion was in the year 3101 BCE, which coincided with the beginning of the Kali Yuga. 7200 years before that, the same point was crossed in the forward motion by the earth when in 10,301 BCE, at which time Skanda was living, and he recognized the fall of Abhijit and substituted it with Kritika star, and also he recognized the unwavering position of Arundhati behind Vasishta at that time, the details of which you can read in my book, The Myth of the Epoch of Arundhati of Nilkanth Oak, which is available for free in Kindle Unlimited. For the next video, I am going to talk about a star, not just one star but 3 stars, and this star corresponded to a time when vernal equinox would be in Pisces 3rd degree. that is Polaris. And the second star which coincided with the vernal equinox at Aries 0 degrees, and the third star which coincides with the vernal equinox at Aries 27 degrees. And viewers, do you know one thing? One among these stars is none other than Dhruva, who is the son of Uttanapada, the Dhruva Nakshatra, who became the Dhruva Nakshatra. One among them is a Dhruva, which I am going to reveal in my next video. And he was placed at the tail of Shishumara according to the texts. I am going to show all these in my next video. Please stay with us, and thanks for listening.